Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, my favorite video of the month, and that is my TBR. This is for the month of April, and I am so excited that I can finally tell you all that I passed my boards. I am done studying and I can actually focus on reading a little bit more this month. I mean, I have a lot of other things that I want to get done as well, but reading is going to be moving up my priorities significantly, and I am really excited for it. I am looking forward to kind of whatever the board gives me this month. I feel like it's been really nice lately, so I wouldn't mind if there's like a wormhole or two thrown onto this one, just because I'm going to have so much more time, and I think it'd just be fun to have a little bit more of a challenge from the board. Not saying that I want to be like super mean. We're not looking for like 20 books or anything like that, but I'm actually in a comfortable spot for once where if it is mean, I might be able to actually rise to the challenge. So I don't know. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself, but I'm just kind of really looking forward to this game. And let's look at how I did with last month's TBR. Well, technically this month's because I'm filming it during March, but March is TBR. So March was absurdly nice to me, and I only had 4 books on my TBR for the month. We had Nightshade for a one-word title, The Nature of Witches for a niece pick, Daughter of No Worlds for a romance, I think? Yes, a romance, and Crescent City 3 for a female author. And I read these 3 and have started this one. I know, there were only 4. I should have been able to get through them all, but I didn't take my test till like halfway through the month. So I'm giving myself a little bit of grace here, and I have technically won because I only have to have started the last book on my TBR in order to consider it winning. I'm like barely into it, honestly, but it still counts. So I have won, which is great because I don't have another black hole to put on the board. So that means that I get to remove one of the 2 black holes that are on the board. Well, one of the 2 extra black holes that are on the board. So let's go ahead and jump into the first roll. Okay, so I am so excited to be able to remove a black hole from the board, and obviously I'm going to choose this one because it is the farthest that I would have to go back. This one I barely have to go any distance, so we're removing this one from the board, and I'm very happy about it. Okay, here we go for the very first roll. 2. Are you kidding me? Okay, moving right along. 2. Love that. The smallest number and the hardest prompt. And we got a 3-name author. Okay. Well, we are starting off strong. Got a 2, got a son, 3-name author, and for this one, I have decided to go with Gods of the Weird Wood by R.J. Barker. So 2 of them are initials, but I have counted that in the past because kind of hard to find the full names. A lot of times it's an initial, so we're going with it. This was a book that was gifted to me by my sister. We are doing this thing where each month we send each other a book, and it has to fit a theme, a prompt that we have made up, and this one was for the month of March, which I know I am behind on. I'm trying to catch up, and the theme was green because of St. Patrick's Day. So this is going onto my TBR. I haven't started it yet, but I'm really hoping to start it soon because I actually have had my eye on this for a while. I'm really excited for it, and I just love the sentient, magical, maybe a little bit dark forest trope theme setting in books. So I am really looking forward to this one. It is kind of a chunky one to put on for a first pick, but I'm going to be reading it anyways. I'm going to be vlogging myself reading it like I am for each of these books that she's sending me, so I am excited that this one could get on in the very first roll. Okay, starting off slow, but then we get an 8. I think that is a good number. 8, moon. And our prompt is a retelling. Again, I feel like I've gotten this one recently and it was kind of hard. Okay, this next prompt was a moon and it was a retelling. And for this one, I'm gonna do the same as I did last time I got this prompt and put on One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I absolutely love Olivia Blake's writing style. I have loved every book of hers that I have read so far, so I'm really excited to jump into this one. This one I have looked up on, I think Goodreads said it, that this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So I can't wait to read this. I feel like all of Blake's books always are really fast reads for me. I binge them every time I've read one of her books, I've binged it. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one. And I have such high hopes for this. I really hope it doesn't let me down. Here we go. Nice 7. I think that one is nice. 4, 5, 6, 7. Very nice. Ooh, I like it. Whew, here we go. We don't have that black hole anymore, so we're a little bit safer on this roll. Ooh, an 11. Nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No. Oh, remember the good old times when I was excited about that 11? Whew. Okay, it's fine. The board has been so nice to me the last few months. I feel like this is not that bad. It's okay. We're good. Okay, well, I did say at the beginning of this video that I am okay with some wormholes, and I am. I'm kind of excited to see what the jar has in store for me for this. I have a lot of long fantasy series in here, so obviously there is a chance that I could get something like Wheel of Time, but I'm okay with it. I feel like this month I'm just really excited for whatever I get, so I'm not even mad about this. No. Okay. Never focuses. Rhythm of War. Okay, yes. Okay. We're gonna do this, but I'm not on Rhythm of War anymore. I am rereading the series in preparation for the 5th book coming out in December. So I will go with the next book I have in this series with the reread. So not Rhythm of War, but still going with what I drew. So I am actually on Words of Radiance right now, which is the 2nd book in the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. This is an adult epic high fantasy, huge scope. We have these people called the Alethi who are at war with the Parshendi because the Parshendi assassinated their king while they were trying to make peace talks, and this war has been going on for a really long time. This is a multi-POV series. The magic is amazing. I absolutely love the characters in the series, and when I did read the series for the first time, Words of Radiance was my favorite book, so I'm really excited to jump back into this one. This one I am doing a read-along for. Well, I'm doing a read-along of the Stormlight Archive, and this is the book that we are on right now. So I will be reading it in the time frame of the read-along, so I won't finish it in the month of April. It's going to be finished in May, just based on the timeline. So as long as I'm caught up with where we are for the read-along, I'm going to count it as a win. And that way I can technically do what Wormhole Jar tells me, but not kind of mess up my read-along schedule. I'm a little worried though that the Wormhole Jar decided to go with, I think, probably the longest book that it possibly could have chosen for me. I'm not super mad about it though, because I was going to be reading it anyways, so it's fine, but ooh, that's a worrying start. On the plus side, I literally cannot roll a number that will make me land on a black hole or wormhole. So 9, nice. And a star. Oh, it's like it's trying to be nice to me after being mean. Okay, our prompt is a middle grade. Can do. Okay, star prompt, trying to be nice to us maybe. We got a middle grade. And this one, I'm gonna actually continue with the Keeper of the Lost City series. I started reading this a couple years ago, I believe, and just never finished it. I am currently on the book Nightfall, which I think is book 6, yeah. So I am on the 6th book in this series. This is a middle grade series that follows this girl who thought she was a human, was raised by humans, but then finds out she's actually an elf. She has magical abilities and all these secrets locked in her head. And her friends kind of go on these adventures to try to save their elven world. And I know this is a pretty thick book, but it is a middle grade, and so it is a pretty quick read for me. Plus, I do have all the audiobooks for this series, so I can put those on as well. And my niece read and absolutely loved the series, so I do really want to continue and finish with it. I think this is the only middle grade series that I'm kind of in the middle of right now, so it makes sense to be my pick for this prompt, even though it's pretty long and I have several chunky books on my list already. Okay, be nice to me. That was a 2? Oh, that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. 2s are fine. And a sun. Another 2 and sun combined. That's just mean. Okay, a book that has an epilogue. I think that should be okay. I feel like a lot of fantasies have epilogues. I can't believe we got another 2 and another sun with the 2, but the prompt is a book that has an epilogue, and for this one I have decided to go with Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson. This is one of his secret projects that he released as part of his Kickstarter. I did get the secret project box, but I will be reading this copy of it, not that one, because it is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and I don't want to ruin it by like touching it, honestly. So this is a copy I'm going to be reading. I don't really know anything about this book. I've tried to not get spoilers of the secret projects, but I have heard that this one and Sunlit Man have a lot of connections to the Cosmere, so I want to read them before the 5th Stormlight, just in case there's something that we needed from these books that is prominent in Stormlight 5 or spoilers that'll happen there. I'm really looking forward to this one because I hear it's very different from what he's written before. It's kind of a he said, she said romance. So yeah, intrigued to see what he does with this one. And I just think it sounds like something I would really enjoy. And I know a lot of people absolutely love this one. So yeah, this one's gonna go on the list as well. Okay, so we don't want a 3. Or a 10. Anything else, we're good. Okay, here we go. An 8. Ooh, nice. I like it a lot. Holy cow, another sun. This is ridiculous. Okay. And it's a 10 to 12 letter title. This can be really hard sometimes. Okay, this list is starting to get a little bit long. My most recent prompt is a book that's 10 to 12 letter title, and I'm gonna bend rules just a tiny bit here, and I am putting on Nightshade. I know that this was technically from my March TBR, and I shouldn't roll it over because it was the one that had like started but not finished, but my stack's starting to look a little bit long. And I'm going to be reading this book anyways. I'm going to be finishing it anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the list for this month. This is a gothic paranormal fantasy romance, I believe. I barely started it. It kind of gives me Vampire Diaries vibes for kind of that dark, broody, angsty, a little bit over the top dramatic vibes, and I'm kind of liking it, honestly. I'm having fun with it so far. So yeah, putting this one onto the list. I know it's thick, and I know it's thick with a list of thick books, but I was going to read it anyways, so I'm not really adding a thick book that I wouldn't have had anyways, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. Oh, and this is also a book that was a gift from my sister as part of our like monthly book exchange that I am doing a reading blog for. So keep your eyes open for that if you're intrigued by this book. Okay, now obviously we don't want a 2, but anything else will be acceptable. What are the odds of rolling 3 2s and it giving me bad things every time? Like literally anything but a 2. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my god. I felt like I was so safe. I mean, we'd already rolled 2 2s. What were the odds of rolling a third 2? Okay. Well, the game has struck back. After months of being nice, and it's just decided that I need a little more motivation to read. I don't know. Oh. I do not know how that happened. I mean, the odds were so low. I mean, they were so low that I felt so confident that that was going to be our last roll. And yet we rolled our third 2 of the game, and we are now back at the beginning with a wormhole. And my fate is in the hands of the wormhole once again. And I'm a little more worried this time than I was last time. I feel like last time I was fairly just not really caring, confident, carefree, and now I'm looking at my stack and it's long and it has a lot of long books on it, so I'm kind of hoping this isn't Wheel of Time. Just saying. Okay, ow, I like bent this one. No, we're upside down. Faithful and the Fallen, you have got to be kidding me. That is so mean. I got a 2. I hit a black hole. I have to go back to the beginning. And they picked probably the longest book on there. If Wheel of Time isn't the longest one, this is the longest one. I forgot this one was even in there. Whew. Okay. Well, here we go. This is the 4th and final book in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne, Wrath. And as you can tell, it's chunky. How many pages is this? Oh, it's 685 pages. I guess I thought it was longer than that. I mean, I'm not saying that's not long. That is long. Don't get me wrong. But for some reason, I thought it was going to be coming up on like 900 pages or something. It feels like it. But okay, Wrath is going on here. This is an adult high fantasy series. It's quite dark. It's very epic, Norse inspired. We have the Chosen One trope. We have these gods that are kind of fighting over this world. And there's a lot going on here. There's so many characters, so many POVs that we're dealing with. I really have enjoyed reading the series. I am a little worried though that I'm going to have forgotten quite a bit because there is a lot in this book, so many characters, and the political things going on are really complex. So I'm a little worried that it's been too long since I read the last one, but I am not going to go back and reread the series. I want to finish it. And you know what? Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe the wormhole, black hole, whatever, is doing me a favor by putting a book on that I definitely would not have picked this month because of the length of my TBR. So maybe I should see this as a blessing, as a good thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying really hard for the positive spin here. Okay, here we go with, why am I grabbing things weird today? Anyway, roll number 9, 10, something like that, but kind of roll number 1. 8, beautiful. Much better than the 2 we started with last time. No, wait, ooh, it's been a while since I hit that one and I forgot it was 8. I thought it was 7. Well, I guess, less good than the 2 we started with last time. And back to the beginning for the second time this game. It's gonna be a rough month. Well, we got a long ways on that roll. Just saying. I didn't even put the lid back on this time. Didn't even put it on. Maybe I should have. Maybe I jinxed myself. Anyways, I mean, am I even worried at this point? What are the odds of me finishing the TBR as is, let alone with anything else that needs to be added on? My hand like just gets stuck in there. I need to maybe get a bigger wormhole jar. Okay. I've accepted my fate, whatever it gives me. What is it? Yes! Yes! It's because I didn't care and it decided to give me something nice. It chose Monstrous for me, which is a graphic novel series. Very happy about this. Okay, so I am on Monstrous Volume 8, Inferno. This graphic novel series is one that I have really enjoyed. It is an epic high fantasy series. I love the artwork. We have this girl who has this very dark power inside of her. People on all sides of this war are trying to get her to either use her or kill her or manipulate people. It's really a lot for a graphic novel series. The scope is huge. And this is, I think, one of the few that I haven't gotten bored, like waiting for more to come out. I just am intrigued and want to keep going. And I'm really lucky that I am no longer caught up because this book has, I think, fairly recently been released. I could be wrong, but I thought I was caught up. So I'm really happy that I very recently purchased this one, so I know that I am no longer caught up. But yeah, the artwork is just so pretty. I feel like you can kind of get a vibe for it on this, but I just absolutely love it. And I'm excited to continue on with this series, and I'm really excited to put a graphic novel on since I am literally at the beginning of the game for the second time, and I have a really long list already. So the Wormhole Jar decided to be really mean, and then really nice to me. I don't know, it's kind of hot and cold. Okay, come on, be nice to me. A 5. I actually think that that's okay. I think that's safe. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5. Beautiful. I'll take the double prompt. 1, 2. I need a book that's gifted and the first gifted book that I think of. I'm blanking. I literally just blanked out on gifted books. Just a sec. I'm trying. Because I don't want to cheat on this, but I honestly am like completely blanked on gifted books. Okay. Why is it? I'm thinking of books that are gifted that I've already read. I am so sorry. This is taking forever. Okay, I'm looking around me. Do I have any? This is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I can only think of ones that like are already on the list or that I have already read. Disorientation? Okay, that's it. That's the one we're going with. Wow, that was so hard. Okay, this prompt, we have first book I think of and gifted. And this took me a while, but I wanted to think of it while I was filming like the actual rule. So it was literally the first book I thought of, but it took me a minute. My mind just blanked on all books that had been gifted, except for the ones that were literally already on my TBR, which was ridiculous. And then the first book that ended up coming to me that was gifted was Disorientation by Elaine Sai Chow, I think is how you say that, her name. And this was gifted to me by my friend Sophia. So thank you so much, Sophia. I've heard that this has a very similar premise to Yellowface, but so many people have said that this was better in their opinion. And so I want to try this one out because I was intrigued by Yellowface, but I think this one sounded more interesting to me. So I'm really excited to jump into it, see what I think of it. It's very different than the type of books that I usually read, as you've seen by every book that's on my TBR so far this month. So I'm really excited about this one. I think this should be a lot of fun. I'm intrigued, and I will let you know what I think on this because it is so different than what I usually read, but it has a lot of potential and I'm really interested. Okay, that was rough. Here we go. Please be nice to me. A 9. I honestly have no idea if that's good or not. I'm just fingers crossed. Oh, okay. I thought it might have slid out of the frame for a second. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Seriously. And the thing is, like, it's not so much the going back on this one because it's not as far. It's the inability to choose and just be up to the whims of the Wormhole Jar. It's kind of scary. I think the game took me at my word that I was okay with it being a little bit meaner. I actually did not put the lid back on the Wormhole Jar again, so maybe that is my problem. But let's see what it gives me. Ow, okay. Just like pop my hand all the way in there. Here we go. We have our scrap of paper. Here we go. What do we got? Lore Olympus. I love it. I actually am not super intrigued by this series at this point. I'm kind of at the point where I'm a little ambivalent to it, but this is a graphic novel series, so I am not going to say no to that. I don't have a physical copy of it, but I will be reading the next volume of Lore Olympus, and what I'll probably be doing, and what I have been doing for a little while, is I'll be looking up what episodes are included in the next volume, and then I'll be reading them on Webtoons, which is free online, and that's where Lore Olympus started originally before it was picked up in like traditionally published physically. So that is what I am going to be doing for this one, and I'm really excited about it. I have been using Lore Olympus sometimes for readathons because it is short, it's quick, and I do enjoy it fine. I'm not super invested in it, but I like it, so it is often a pick for me during readathons. But yeah, I'll be moving on with this. I think I'm on volume 6 at this point, but I could be wrong. And I will be putting the lid back on the Wormhole Jar, so hopefully like sends out good juju and we don't land on any more wormholes or black holes. I know I wanted to challenge, but this is getting to the point where it's almost like an impossible challenge, like Mission Impossible, you know? Whew, I mean, honestly, at this point, I kind of just accepted my fate. So even if it's mean, it is what it is. Okay, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. Star, please be nice. Treat your shelf. Ooh, I like that one. Okay, I really love this prompt, treat your shelf. I like kind of having the freedom of it because I don't have to pick the book right now. I can choose it later when I want to buy it. But I think what I am going to use this one for is the April book that my sister will be sending me. I want to vlog my experience reading all of these books, and so if I have it already like on the TBR, it's easier to fit it in, especially since I have such a long TBR at this point that the odds of me like being able to read them all or add any book onto the TBR that was not originally on there is pretty much 0. So I think that is what I'm going to do. So this new edition that'll be coming to me is probably going to be counted for this one. Okay, here we go. Next roll is a 5. It's at least we're not going backwards. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, and another star. Thank you. Appreciated. And our prompt is a book with royalty. That should be so easy to do. Okay, this next prompt, it's a star, so it's an easier prompt, and that's royalty. And for that one, I have decided I'm going to read Long Shadow by Olivia Atwater. This is the 3rd and final book, as far as I am aware, in her Regency fairy tale series. These are just really cute, easy reads. They're romances. It's almost like a fairy tale Bridgerton-esque story, and I really liked the first one, Half a Soul. Like, I loved it. It was so good. The second one I liked okay. It was still good, but I have really high hopes for this one. I've heard a lot of people really love it, so I'm excited to jump into it. I don't really know exactly the premise of this one, but I do know that there is royalty in this world, and they've been kind of on the peripheries of these stories, but they exist. And I need to fit short books onto my TBR, so I am counting it. Okay, I did not count what the bad numbers would be, so we're just hoping here. A 9. I really hope that's good. I think it is. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my gosh. For a second there, I was positive we were landing on that wormhole again, and I might have cried a little bit on camera. It would have been embarrassing. Okay, so our double prompt is a buddy read and a book box. Okay, this might be really difficult. You know, I don't like to cheat, but I just don't think this is gonna work because I'd have to like force someone else to read a book from the book box with me, and that's just like really hard. So a romance that is a buddy read, I think that is much more doable. You know what, the game's been mean enough to me. I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. Okay, I kind of fudged with these prompts a little bit, just because it's so hard to have a buddy read when you have another prompt that has to fill it, because then you have to find someone else that wants to. It just like, it was going to be a whole thing. And I wanted to be able to tell you what book I was reading now instead of like trying to find someone to buddy read a book with me that I picked. But the prompt is buddy read and romance instead of buddy read and book box book. And for this one, I'm going to be putting on my Patreon buddy read for the month of April, which is Manacled. This is a fan fiction. It's a Hermione fan fiction, so Draco Hermione from Harry Potter series, and it is really long from what I have heard, but it's my Patreon buddy read, so I am going to be reading it anyways. Like, this is something that was already on my list, already gonna read, and I'm actually really excited that I got these prompts because I kind of forgot about it because we decided a few months ago that this was going to be the Patreon buddy read for the month of April, and that it kind of slipped my mind. But I am really, really, really looking forward to reading this. I've heard people absolutely love it. They fly through it. It's so addicting. And I have also heard that the author of this fic is going to be not having this exact fan fiction made into a book, but she had to kind of tweak it so it's no longer Harry Potter fan fiction to something that would not be considered like plagiarizing or copyright infringement or whatever it's called. And she's actually going to get a publishing deal for it, which is amazing. I think that's so awesome. But I have heard from people who are really into the fan fiction community that when this happens, they usually will remove that original fan fiction from the site. So I'm really glad that we're getting this buddy read in now. I'm so looking forward to it. I already have it on my Kindle. It is long. It is so long, but I am really excited for it. So yes, thank you to my patrons for choosing this for our buddy read. I think it's gonna be so fun. I am a little worried though that it is so long and my TBR is so long, but it's gonna happen. Like, we're just smiling about it at this point. It's gonna be great. And hopefully we do not hit the black hole again. I mean, I don't even mind if we have another couple rolls before we get there. I just don't think, I don't think we can go back to the beginning again. I don't think it's gonna work for me. Okay. I don't even know what number to avoid right now. Good vibes. 8. I think that's a good one. I really think that's a good one. Okay, let's see. Oh, I hope. Oh, I hope. Okay. 6, 7. Yes. Whew. Okay, that was rough. Hopefully the spinner wheel is a little bit nice to me. Fingers crossed. Okay, we have made it to the end, and we've made it to the end without my camera battery dying, which is actually the real accomplishment here. So we're gonna spin the spinner wheel for those of you who don't know. Okay, that freaked me out for a second. For those of you who don't know, I will spin a wheel of prompts. Whatever prompt I get, I have 10 seconds to find a book that fits that prompt, or I have to spin again. Or if I get the same prompt that I got last month, which was romance, then I also have to spin again. Okay, here we go. Ready for this? I'm honestly not that I'm a little bit nervous because my options are so low at this point, because I usually bring up some options and put them out here, but most of them have been used up because I've had so many prompts. So we'll see how this goes. This may be a time that I fail. We shall see. Okay, here we go. TikTok, okay. Oh no. Oh no. You know what? I'm doing it. Okay, so technically, this is not the book. I win. Technically, I already read this book, but I'm gonna have the second book in this series be my choice because Carissa Broadbent is so popular on TikTok. I feel like these are great picks. I panicked, and I'm sure that there are other options that I could have chosen that were shorter that I owned. But you know, sometimes the panic mode sets in and all thought goes out the window, and that's pretty much what happened here. So the second book in the series is going to count. And I'm not going to make myself spin again on this one. I'm giving myself a little bit of grace because let's be honest, I already am probably not going to be finishing this TBR. So we're just gonna give myself a little bit more of a chance by giving this one to me. This is a fantasy romance series. This book was on my March TBR, which I finally read. I've been trying to read this book for like a year, and I don't know why. I'm really like enjoying Carissa Broadbent's writing, so hopefully that continues. I've heard people absolutely love like the second and third books in the series as well, so definitely looking forward to it. I think it might be a little bit of a longer book. Oh, I still have my bookmark in there. The second one is longer than this one. Just a little bit nerve-wracking, but you know what? It's fine. I'm fine. I'm already gonna fail. Let's be honest. Let's see what books I have on my list. Okay, when I have to start like stacking them by size so they don't fall over, you know, your stack might be a little bit too big. Whew. Okay, I need my list. I need my list of the books because there are so many that I'm gonna forget some. Okay, let's start with the books that I don't own first. So I have Lore Olympus, which was for a wormhole pick. I have Manacled, which was for a romance and a buddy read. And I have whatever book my sister is going to be sending me for the month of April for my Treat Your Shelf. Now, here's my stack of ones that I own physically. Sorry, I gotta back up quite a bit because it is so tall. So we have Long Shadow for a book with royalty. We have Nightshade for a book with a title 10 to 12 letters long. We have Gods of the Weirdwood for a book with an author with a three names on the book. We have One for My Enemy for a retelling. We have Keepers of the Lost City for a middle grade. We have Wrath for a wormhole, black hole, I can't remember, one of the picks. We have the second book in the Daughter of No Worlds series for a TikTok spinner wheel pick. We have Disorientation for the first book I think of and a gifted. We have Monstrous for a wormhole pick. We have Yumi and the Nightmare Painter for a book with an epilogue. And we have Words of Radiance for a wormhole pick. Yeah, wormhole. Black hole, whichever. Oh my gosh. I almost dropped those. That was dangerous. These are sliding around so bad. I'm kind of struggling. Is this the tallest stack we've ever had? I don't think so. Maybe I'm just weaker than I used to be. Okay, that is my TBR for the month of April. I'm a little scared. I am a little scared of this TBR. I really want to win too, because this is a month where I am going to have a lot of free time, I think. I am still working and I have, like, I want to do some spring cleaning. I want to reorganize my bookshelves. And I'm going to be going on a trip with my husband to one of his conferences. So I do have a couple things, but I should have a lot of reading time. I will put up here how many pages is on this TBR. It might be a little thrown off because of Manacled, so I'll try to figure out how to figure that out. But yeah, I'll put up how many pages I have. You know what I might do? I might vlog the month of April. I feel like this is the month for me to actually vlog how my reading is going because it is such a huge challenge that I think, I don't know, maybe no one would be intrigued, but I feel like it'd be nice to keep y'all updated on my progress, how I'm doing. I have 3 books on there that I'm already giving dedicated vlogs to, and then one that is going to get a dedicated vlog for my Patreons. So I do have 4 books on this list that already am going to have their own dedicated vlogs, but I could do like weekly vlogs. Keep y'all updated. We'll see. We'll see how my motivation goes because I feel like I have these ideas. I want to do things and then I just don't end up doing them because my anxiety gets the better of me. But I might do that. I also have been wanting to do 75 hard as well. So maybe I'll include that in this to kind of motivate myself to be more productive. We'll see how that goes. That might be a little much, but it might be good for me too because I'm just getting out of school. I need to get back into my habits that I've been doing, especially reading. So maybe this is good. Maybe this is a good Kickstarter to get me back into reading, really get me going. We'll see. I have 14 books. And while 14 books seems reasonable and doable, there are so many really long ones on here, which is why page count I feel like is a little bit more important. But anyway, This is already going to be a very long video, and I just keep talking, so I probably should wrap this up, but thank you all so much for watching. I might end up doing an extra readathon during the month of April just because I'm definitely going to need it, so maybe keep your eyes out for that. Maybe I'll add my Patreons on and do it with them. I think that would help motivate me to get through some of these books, but thank you so much for watching my video, taking time to comment, just like being my friends here on the internet, chatting with books about me. I absolutely love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.